Thank you for the sub-corrugated 1976.
The least I can do.
Dude, I can just make myself laugh sometimes. That's all that matters. I
think
laugh
it's great.
You're allowed to laugh. It's okay to laugh.
Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It is it's Monday. It's Thursday, June 19th. We got a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about this morning.
Today's a holiday.
Today is a holiday. What holiday is it, Adam Peak?
Today is Juneteenth. It is the day in which you do not want to interrupt me on this one. This is important. I believe it was 1865 when Texas became the final state to outlaw slavery in the U.S., and it was declared a federal holiday. I think it was under the Obama administration when it became a federal holiday, but it's been a holiday for quite some time historically in the African American and Black communities in the United States. So it's a great holiday, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna enjoy highlighting a slew of great packaging companies that are led by African American and Black people here in the United States of America. So awesome, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, we got Corey Connors, Corrugated 1976 from Sustainable Packaging Podcast. Yeah, man. So good stuff.
Very exciting.
Yeah, super stoked. So how are you doing, Adam?
I'm great. Was the moment I decided that Bo Jackson was going to be maybe my favorite football/baseball player of all time.
Nice.
It was the poster with the shoulder pads and the baseball bat.
Yeah, I had that one too.
And his nipples out. Yeah,
I had that one right next to my Alf poster.
Oh.
I'm serious. Bo Jackson, Alf.
Bo Jackson and Alf. You know what's
get any
crazy?
better?
Those things. Like if you kept those in like good condition.
Oh man, and Mark, yeah, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco.
Mark.
No, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, 40-40 Club.
Oh yeah,
dude,
nice. I'm in the 40-40 Club now.
Yeah, you know, for a while I thought the Star Spangled Banner. The Star Spangled Banner started off with Jose Canseco, and then
That's
true. Like, why are we singing to Jose Canseco? I was like, no, it's Jose Can You See? I was like, oh, okay.
He's a great man.
All right. All right. So let's jump in. Let's jump into the show. So what?
Yeah, we've already lost 92% of the listeners.
No way. They're just jumping on.
Yeah, our kids aren't listening anymore. Is what you're saying.
We're 3 minutes in. They've already Insta-snapped this and moved on with their day.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's jump in. Like what, tell me, Adam, what's going on?
Yeah. So I have had the privilege of having.
If you're watching this, comment and let us know where you're watching from. And all right, go ahead, Adam.
I've had the privilege.
Hey, wait.
Of having
one more thing.
A tremendous amount of incredible people on the People of Packaging podcast. And I know that you both have as well. And so I thought this would be a great time to remind people of just some incredible Black-owned businesses that are in the packaging industry, many of whom have been guests on our show, will continue to be guests on our show. I believe we're going to have Megan Young Gamble on as a guest host with us next Thursday, I believe, on the Packaging Today show. So, yeah, we're going to get some life updates from Megan. And I know she's been on all of our shows a couple of different times. She's got a great company called Get Level Consulting. And then also her and her husband, a less promoted, but nonetheless important. They have a pallet company servicing the Atlanta metropolitan area. So
she's awesome. Just an amazing person.
Yeah, so Megan, she'll talk more next week when she comes on, but she'll be just talking about the type of consulting she does and also her packaging and product powerhouse, I think is the name of her podcast. So fantastic. So yeah, that was kind of the idea, was like, hey, it's a holiday. Let's take some time to highlight some really cool people and celebrate it.
Cool. So there's a bunch of packaging. You were talking about Bo Jackson.
I know. Bo knows packaging. Oh my gosh, you guys.
He's a business owner.
See, I've got the poster of him like this, and he's got like a tube, like a mailing tube.
He followed me on LinkedIn. And
are you serious?
I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, just incredible.
Bo knows Corey.
Bo knows corrugated.
Can we make a Bo knows packaging t-shirt? He would have to sign off on it, but that would be...
No, we're just going to do it, and we're going to send it to him and be like, we need you to get on the show and talk to us
just
about
make packaging. Just make one Bo knows packaging shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the best idea we've had ever. I can't wait. If I could get Bo Jackson and MC Hammer simultaneously, because he followed me on Twitter one time, and it was like
too legit to...
I am too legit to quit.
You're too legit.
Yeah, it was
so all right. So
yeah, you can't touch the awesomeness of the show is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's true.
Terrible show so far.
It's the Addams Family. We do what we do. Do what we want to do. Say what we want to say. Live how we want to live. Play how we want to play. Dance how we want to dance. Kick and we slap our friend. Addams Family. Go.
All right. So Bo Jackson. For anybody that is under 50, who is Bo Jackson?
One of the greatest athletes of all time.
Maybe the greatest athlete of all time before his career was sidelined after he was hit in the hip by a player for the Seattle Seahawks. But that man was an all-star in baseball. He was a Pro Bowler.
Oh, he was playing baseball.
What's that?
He was hit in the hip by the Seahawks.
Yeah.
In a baseball game? Is that what you're saying?
No. The Seahawks are a football team, Evelio.
Yeah.
From Seattle, which is basically Portland. It's the Portland version of Washington.
It's not okay to say. You can't say that.
Okay.
Sorry.
But no, Bo Jackson.
Seattle is a totally different kind of community.
It's the same.
It's way north of where I am. Hours.
To those of us not in the area, they're pretty much samesies.
For sure.
No. Negative.
Yeah.
You can smell it from here.
Bo Jackson is also an archer. He does a lot of hunting and bow hunting.
All right.
And he runs Jackson Packaging, which is
how did he get into pack? How do you go from football to packaging?
Same way you go from pastor to packaging. But you know who could answer that question is Bo freaking Jackson when he comes on the show and talks about why does Bo know packaging?
Packaging.
Yeah.
That would be incredible to have him on. He's such a great man.
If somebody knows Bo Jackson, let him know we're sending him a t-shirt and we want him on the show.
Well, I told you I'm connected with him on LinkedIn, so we're basically best friends.
That's right.
Basically.
Yeah. So Jackson Packaging, shout out to Bo Jackson, Megan Young Gamble, another friend of the show. We've got a couple. Kirk Visola, who has Mind the Font, is a designer and a good friend. I've been able to hang out with him in person, IRL. We grabbed some time when I was up in the Napa Valley area.
Also had a clothing brand or has?
Yes, VSLA Clothing. They make the best hoodies. I think I own 3.
I bought a hoodie and a t-shirt. Love them.
Yeah. He was also the man behind the Weenus Lube
branding.
That was a great logo. Really, really.
Yeah.
It's an. Should I go grab? I think I have a
simple.
And then then he's also a co-host on the Packaging Podcast with
Kurt and Kurtz.
Yeah, Kurt and Kurtz.
Yeah.
And those guys get into some pretty good stuff on like CPG packaging. They have got different people on. They go to different shows. They talk about food packaging, and you get both angles of design, which is, I don't know. It's a fun. That's a good show. I love that show. Definitely go check that show out. Kurt and Kurtz.
Kirk was my second guest on my podcast.
Oh,
4 years ago.
Avelio was the 3rd guest on my podcast.
Wow. Must be nice.
There you go.
8 years ago.
Jeez.
Has Avelio been on your podcast, Corey?
I would never. Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
And then we also have to talk about the godmother of packaging. She's forgotten more about packaging than we will ever know, and that is another good friend, Camille Core Chisholm, at Indigo Packaging and Consulting.
She's my favorite.
She's a professor at MSU. She has been just an incredible resource. I don't know how many people I've sent her way that are just like, I want to get into packaging. I'm like, we'll start with Camille.
Yeah.
Because she's fantastic.
Absolutely an expert on automotive packaging, reusable packaging systems. Her episode is still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I would say like all right. So I'm not black.
Hey, wait.
But right, like just calling it out here. It's important to highlight the businesses that aren't your standard, that aren't your big giant businesses that are actually, growing, they're starting up. But then also there's a lot of companies out there that are run. You've got some great CEOs. You've actually got a lot of. It's not just in packaging. And so, to be completely honest, sometimes it's weird for me to have this conversation of like, hey, let's kind of focus on this. But the fact that we don't hear about a lot of these great designers, great packaging companies, I don't know that people are actually going in and looking for Black-owned businesses in the packaging space. I think a lot of times people are just looking for packaging, and it's not something that you really consider. But I have spoken to a few startups that are Black-owned, and they are looking for Black-owned packaging, and definitely connecting them. But is there a way, besides us three, to really highlight, great companies in general?
I don't know if there's like a consolidated way, where you can go search for either a minority-owned business or a woman-owned business in packaging. Maybe there is specific to packaging, or maybe you can filter down on something. I think the tough part becomes, what do you value? Like, what does a brand value, and how far are they willing to carry those values through the entirety of their supply chain and systems, right? So, for example, I know Target is a big company, and Target does have audits of their supply chain relative to their corporate values. It's gotten them in trouble with some people, but they've stood on certain values, right? Other companies are, and to be fair, Target has also backed away from some of those, which then got them in trouble with a different group of people. So I'm not saying that Target's been perfect, but
very touchy.
I do know that
it's been the case with a lot of companies.
What's that?
It's been the case with a lot of companies.
Yeah, exactly.
Recently,
but they do have like audits of their supply chain with, around which working with, hey, Ashok, working with various companies, whether it's Black-owned or female-owned or veteran-owned or whatever it is of importance to the shareholders, is of importance to their investors. BlackRock looks at their entire investment portfolio as well. So I don't think it's just like, hey, let's just talk about it because these are our friends, we want to highlight them. But it's also like, there is an importance that is of varying degrees, varying levels of importance, for sure.
Yeah. Well, for example, our friend Ronell Richards, he's got a great community of often Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses that he supports and mentors. So there's a lot of organizations. I think his business is called Business and Bourbon or something like that. It's really insightful, and I've had the honor of talking to him. He's a great guy, and he'll connect you with people that you're interested to work with.
Yep. Yeah. So Chris, tell us more about this. It's
What's
The
that? WOC.
women of color design community.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear, because here's the deal. Like I'm not going to sit here and be naive and say, hey, we're only going to promote, this particular subsection of this particular group or whatever it is.
Right.
What we try to do is elevate the conversation of packaging, bring packaging to people every day. That's what we're doing, right? And so if you were to say, hey, our core values are this, we really want to work with seaweed derived packaging, for example. We've talked a lot about that. We really want to work with Black owned packaging designers. We really want to work with, indigenous owned packaging companies. Like, we're happy to go help connect you to, I'm doing a podcast, I think next week, with a company that's owned by South American immigrants here in the U.S. And they've leaned very heavily into their community and their status as immigrants, and what that, like, companies have to decide what their guiding principles are and what their core values are. We're not here to tell you this is what you should be doing.
What should be. Yeah.
But we're here to connect you with the people to help you with that, right? Is that a fair assessment of the situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we can do. Use our platform for good. And that's what I think we've all done a good job with that.
Well, two of us have.
Won't tell you which two.
Well, I won't tell you which two, but it's
me and who somebody else.
It's me and corrugated 1976.
That guy's awesome.
If you know that guy. No, Avelio, you're doing a great job as well. I mean,
above average.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I agree with the point, but today is a great holiday here. It's like I said, it's a federal holiday. A lot of places have taken today off. I think we'll see this increasingly become a more celebrated holiday across. It's not just going to be a government holiday and a bank holiday, I don't think, but I think we'll see more and more companies taking the day off, because it is a day to remember and to both mourn that it took so long and celebrate that it's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Avelio?
Yes. Avelio, is there any communities for people like from Colombia? Yeah, people, like
people who grew up in Colombia / Hawaii / Brooklyn / Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really leave my house. To be honest, no. But I mean, I've had for me, I've had a slew of immigrant designers, immigrants here to the U.S. that have kind of had a similar experience. I just had the team from Bowie who makes like some agua frescas, and the product's amazing. But it was, as we were talking, it was like the same stories. Like, I got here, I was brought into the U.S. when I was 2, and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, me too. But he was coming in from Mexico. I'm coming in from Colombia. So for me, it's really, I don't know. There is quite a big immigrant community. It doesn't have to be South American, because I think we all have a similar experience. Like, once you come into a country that doesn't necessarily accept you as you're growing up. I didn't learn to speak Spanish until I got into elementary school. I didn't learn to speak English until I got to elementary school.
I was like, wait a second.
Right. So it's like going through all those obstacles, whether you're coming in from South America or you're coming in from Europe or like wherever,
right?
You've got these similar experiences, and that does connect you, with a lot of people. So I don't know. For me, it's always just about focusing on the quality of the design and bringing that up. I know I've had a few people on where I think the question becomes, because it is design focus, is like, where are the Black designers?
Right.
And you can go into a lot of studios and there are zero. And that's,
Can I touch on the importance of this? Because I won't name the company, but I was doing work for a company, and we were making some folding cartons, and we were in the room, and it was like a makeup line, and they had all these various shades, and we're kind of going through, and they're like dialing in on the importance of the shades of me. Obviously, I'm not the target market for this, but I was just trying to help through, like, okay, how are we going to match colors and all this stuff. And then I got to a point, and I looked at everything, and I was like, are you only selling makeup to white women? And they were like, I'm like, I think that's all the shades that I see here is like going to be for more lighter complexion skin tones. Is that? And they just had to be like, and they're looking around the room, and it was all white people in the room, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so it was a miss. It was a potential miss that could have caused a lot of problems and lost a lot of revenue for the company, right? Had they not said, oh yeah, we need to add some, we need to change some of the formulations around. So it's not just performative, I think is the point. It's not just like, hey, we want to work with people from diverse backgrounds because it's going to look good.
As a business, you've got to reach out to really as many clients as possible, right? You can't just separate out like one group of people and focus on that.
You can if you want to. It's just
you can if you don't want to sell, right? Like
yeah. I mean, it's not like it. The now I think bankrupt restaurant Hooters wasn't exactly a company that was like, we really are trying to diversify our target market. Like they pretty well knew what they were trying to do, right? So
when was the last time you were at Hooters?
What's that?
When was the last time you went to Hooters?
Do you know what's funny?
I've never been.
0 times. Never.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, we got Marcello.
Hey, Marcello.
And we met Marcello through Clubhouse.
Oh my gosh!
Right, that was like forever ago.
You know who I've been talking to lately is our friend Rao from Clubhouse.
Oh yeah, nerdy.
Yeah.
Over at Paula's Choice, the tallest packaging engineer of all time.
He's brilliant. And he's got some stories about, being from India, and it's, there's a lot of diverse things that happen to people that are from different areas of the world. And I think we need to support all of them.
And I feel compelled to say this because yesterday I was driving around, and in my car is a student who lives with me and my wife, and he is here from Senegal. And in the car were also 2 of his friends who are here from South Sudan. And the difference between somebody here from Senegal versus South Sudan in the United States as immigrants is actually quite different and unique. And so I think sometimes we do also a disservice of like just sort of lumping people in like, oh, they're from Africa, or, like you said, Avelio, like they're from South America. It's like, well, South Sudan versus, Kenya versus Senegal or South Africa, like these are all completely different. Even in India, I've been to India quite a few times. So talking about Rao, like North India and South India are essentially different countries in terms of a lot of their customs.
Portland and Seattle.
No, those are the same. Those are the exact same.
They're absolutely different people.
Dude, it's the same drum circle. Portland, Seattle.
Portland and Seattle basically are the same state.
No.
But no, it was fascinating just kind of talking with both the South Sudanese students who like their visas are under. I mean, the federal government has said like if you are here on a South Sudan visa on your passport, they're threatening to pull that. Even if you're here legally, that's a different experience than the student. And they grew up speaking, both Sudanese and English is their language, versus Senegal, which is in West Africa, where they grew up speaking French and Wolof and English. It's completely different. So
I'm glad you're realizing that the world is bigger than Utah.
I'm realizing. No,
everybody has a different experience. Absolutely. And I think, I don't know, I think it's just fair to celebrate everybody's experience.
Yes.
Have you guys, by the way,
Oregon
and Seattle. Have you guys Have you guys ever worked with the Integrated Packaging Company?
No.
So I found,
up here.
What's that?
We gotta start wrapping up here.
I know, but I'm just saying, this company was founded in 1992. They've acquired quite a few different facilities across the U.S. I'm going to reach out to, let's see, Albert Fuller is their CEO and founder. I'm going to reach out to Albert and have him on the show. I think they do a couple $100 million a year in revenue. So yeah, interesting company. I was just doing a little bit of research on them. So shout out to IPC.
Let's get Bo Jackson on here.
We also want Bo Jackson on the show.
We got to
Jackson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson, but I'm for real.
That's
we feel like outcasts without you on our show, is what I'm trying to say.
That's right. That's right. We got Adam 3000.
Calm down, big boy.
All right, man. Let's wrap up. Hey, can I share this? Can I share this stupid thing that I created?
I would love it. Let's see it. I hope the sound works.
Yeah, we'll make the sound work. All right. So
you've been shooting for weeks. You know.
I have been shooting for weeks. I'm all in on this AI text to video.
What platform do you use for this, by the way?
I use Flow. So VO3.
Sounds like something from Seattle.
No,
I don't like it.
No, it's VO3. It's text to video.
Can we have an episode where you do this live with us?
Yeah, but I don't think we did.
Great idea.
Yeah, you want to do an episode where we do this? Absolutely, and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so here's a quick ad.
No. Nope. Yes. Finding the right box is hard. You don't fall in love with the product. You fall in love with the packaging. And that's okay. See, I like very much.
Oh, hell yes.
I was nervous at first. But the moment I saw those handles, I knew you were different. It's what's on the outside that counts.
Nope.
So that was all text, which is insane, right? Like the quality, like you can see her skin, you can see the lighting, like the setting, like
amazing.
All of this, you know, the packaging, the branding on the packaging, like 100% everything here. He's got 5 fingers. It's not like weird like it used to be.
That was a real challenge for AI, wasn't it? The fingers.
Yeah, it was crazy. But like even here,
I was nervous at first.
there's like the ambient noise,
I saw those handles, I knew you were different.
and you can
really
hear
hear
the
the noise
glasses
very well.
like ching together, like
The lighting in the background, just beautiful.
yeah, and like that lighting, I requested it to be like this bokeh lighting in this romantic restaurant, and like it created this whole scene, which was nuts. So I don't know if you want to learn, like if you want to see how to do this, then
My AI daddy fingers.
I'd be more than happy to do an episode where we talk about it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. All right, let's wrap this up. Tomorrow, Friday, we'll do
Pack of the week.
Yeah, pack of the week, and then next Wednesday we're gonna do
Pack of the week. Wait, no.
Can you solve it?
Pack of the week.
So get your questions ready, and we'll hand out some shirts.
Someone let us give